Hey, welcome to CrossFit NOLA online. I am here to deliver Monday's workout to everyone. Today we have a benchmark workout and also a little bit of a choice. We can choose between two benchmark workouts, Cindy or Mary. A lot of times when these two workouts come out on the main site or CrossFit.com, you have the choice to do it one or the other. So they're both 20-minute AMRAPs. Cindy is, one round of Cindy is 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, and 15 squats. And one round of Mary is 5 handstand push-ups, 10 alternating pistols, and 15 pull-ups. So our general warm-up to prep us for the WOD today is going to be 2 rounds, 1 minute of jump rope, 5 toe touch squats, 5 yoga push-ups, 5 step back lunges with a twist, 5 scap pull-ups into 5 kipping swings, and then 5 hip switches. The cool down will have 2 rounds. It has an A through E, a couch stretch, bird dog combos, a wall assisted thoracic extension, 5 sideline windmills, and a calf stretch of choice, 1 minute per side. So let's get right into the movements that are in the warm-up. We have a minute of jump rope. We wanted to say a couple of things about the jump rope. If you have concrete outside of your house, be careful with your jump rope because the concrete will tear it up. And if you don't have a jump rope, some things that you can do for jump rope, I think that we sometimes substitute the penguin hops for double unders. Jumping jacks are a good sub. If you have like a small curb outside your house or a small step, you can jump on and off of that step, and those can be substitutions for your jump rope there. Or you can go for a jog to warm up. 5 toe touch squats. I'm gonna start shoulder width apart with my feet. I'm gonna reach down to anchor my hands on the inside of my toes, and then I'm gonna pull my hips down into my squat position, and then I'm gonna pull my hips back up and stand up. So try to keep the weight on the heels and the knees pushed out of the arms in your toe touch squats. For the yoga push-ups, I'll be in my push-up position. I'm gonna press up and away from the ground. I'm gonna shrug my shoulders, and I'm gonna press my head through, trying to drive my heels down at the same time. Shrug and press. The step back lunges with a twist. Standing tall, I'm gonna step back, and then keeping my chest up, I'm gonna twist towards the knee that's up. I'll do 5 of those on each side. Scap pull-ups into kipping swings. I'll show you in just a second when I get a hold of the pull-up bar. And then the hip switches. These were in one of the cool downs or warm-ups last week. I have a 90-degree bend in both knees, keeping the outside leg down. I'm gonna switch over and collapse into the other direction. I'll do 5 of those on each side. So we have pull-ups in both versions of these workouts, and we understand that you might not have access to a pull-up bar. Phil showed you all some alternatives you can do last week for pull-ups, but certain things to think about. To keep it with a pulling movement, you can do a sumo deadlift high pull with a kettlebell. You can do a kettlebell swing. Some things that I think about subbing in here for the pull-ups in sets of 5 is maybe a 50-foot shuttle run. So 25 down, 25 back, and then push-ups and air squats. And then if you keep that same ratio here, you would do a 150-foot shuttle run. So down and back a 25-foot length 3 times. But those are all good alternatives for pull-ups and kipping swings. Now, if you do have a pull-up bar, let's take a look at the scap pull-ups and kipping swings. Okay, so we're gonna take a look at the movement in the warm-up that's the scap pull-ups into the 5 kipping swings. So we're under the assumption that you have access to a pull-up bar, and ideally, hopefully it's one that you can hang with your feet off the ground and an extended leg. So I'm gonna jump up to the pull-up bar, get my grip set, and I'm going to shrug my head up towards the bar with a long elbow, and then I'm gonna relax. So those are gonna be my scap pull-ups. Following that, I'm gonna organize my lower body by pointing my toes and bringing my feet together and go into 5 kipping swings after that. So Now that we're over here by our pull-up bar and our wall, we'll take a look at some of the movements that are going to be in Cindy and Mary. Cindy consists of 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 15 air squats. So the pull-up is a movement that occurs in both workouts, so we'll take a look at the pull-up. The standard for the pull-up today is a traditional pull-up where we go from a dead hang or a full open elbow to our chin over the bar. It is not a chest to bar pull-up today, so I'll demo 1 or 2 pull-ups. The pull-ups are in both Cindy and Mary. There are 5 reps per round in Cindy, and there are 15 reps per round in Mary, so it is a bigger chunk of the workout in Mary. The next movement that's in Cindy is a push-up. We talked about a push-up last week. We'll review the standards for the movement. For the push-up, again, we want a nice tight body position. We want to place our hands within 2 hand widths of our shoulders and keep our elbows within 45 degrees of our torso. We talked a lot about trying to keep the quads from hitting the ground here and forcing a more difficult and truer push-up to standard. Okay. One way to scale a push-up is to go from your plank and then drop your knee so you create a shorter body lever. The third and final movement in the benchmark Cindy is the air squat. So this is a movement that's been coming up a lot in our body weight workouts. We'll just demo it and we'll talk about the standard. So. For the air squat, I want to get my hip crease below the top of my thigh at the bottom, the vertical chest and the knees tracking out over the toes. When I stand up, I want to squeeze my butt to fully extend my hip at the top. When you're doing sets of 15 for 20 minutes at speed, it's really easy to let the movement quality of the air squat break down. So it'll take a lot of focus to keep your standard throughout the entire 20 minutes on that air squat. So pay close attention to that. The 3 movements that are in Mary are going to be a handstand push-up, an alternating pistol, and a pull-up. We talked a lot about the pull-ups in Cindy, so I'm not going to worry about that right now. We're going to talk handstand push-up and alternating pistol. So we'll hop up, assuming you have a wall. Maybe you borrowed an ab mat from us. Maybe you have a towel folded up, something to protect your head. And one thing that I would try to avoid is doing this on a sheetrock wall. So sometimes people don't know what's going to happen. They're going to kick up and boom, their foot's going to go through that drywall. So maybe doing it on a door, making sure that you have a safe place to do your handstands. So I'm going to kick up and do a couple of handstand push-ups. The first 2 I'll do will be strict, and then the next 2 I do will be kipping. There's a couple of ways to scale the movement. You could go to just a plain push-up, or you can try to create some sort of piked angle. If you have a box, you can put your feet or knees up on a box, or you can jam them into the corner of the wall. So let's say you have a wall, but you don't yet have a handstand push-up. And get into a piked position. And I can bring my head down and press back up through the top, trying to mimic the vertical press for that movement. The last movement in Mary that we're going to talk about is the alternating pistol. This is a single leg squat, so we'll demo some. We'll talk about what we're looking for the range of motion, the standard, the points of performance, and some variations that you can use to scale. So here's a pistol. Movements that you can use to scale: a step up, that reverse lunge, so you can get some sort of single leg contraction through knee flexion and hip flexion there for the pistol. If you have a small step or something that you can sit on or use for a tactile cue, you can pistol down onto that object and then stand up. So that would give you a single leg contraction. It would force you to hold your foot out in front, engaging the abs like a regular pistol, and it'll make you a lot better at doing that movement. All right, group, we have our cool down now. We have A, B, C, D, and E. We have couch stretch, bird dog combos, a wall assisted thoracic extension, 5 sideline windmills on each side, and your calf stretch of choice. So we'll go back to the wall and take a look at the couch stretch. So when setting up for the couch stretch, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get my knee into the corner of the wall and the floor. I am going to put my heel directly behind my butt, and then I'm going to bring the other foot up into a lunge position. And if I have some sort of support, like an ab mat or a foam roller, I can use it to kind of force a vertical chest here for the couch stretch. We'll do 1 minute on each side. The bird dog combo, I will be in all fours or on all fours, keeping my core nice and tight. I'm going to take my right hand and my left leg, and I'm going to extend both of those out. I'm going to hold for 1 second, and then I'm going to come back in, and I'm going to switch to the other side. We have the wall-assisted thoracic extension. This is a novel movement probably for most people, but basically what I'm trying to do is manipulate a version of the prayer stretch to get flexion and extension through my upper back. So take a look at it first and then I'll explain it. So my hands are on the wall here. I'm pushing into the wall just enough to force a little bit of extension into my upper back as much as I can. And then I'm going to tuck the chin and put a little bit of flexion in there, trying to create some movement back through my thoracic spine. We have sideline windmills and a calf stretch of choice just while I'm up here. Easy calf stretches, straight leg on the pole, bent leg on the pole, forced into dorsiflexion here, so I'm going to load and pull down here, trying to get that knee over the toe. So those are good calf stretches. And then finally, the sideline windmill. I'm going to be on my side with my bottom leg extended, my top leg bent at the knee and hip. My hands are going to be clapped together. I'm going to reach up and around in a big semicircle. Once I get over my head, I'm going to let my shoulders fall. My hand's going to come up, and then I'm going to go to the opposite side of the clock before I start again. All right, finally, we're going to talk a little bit of the expectations for today's workout. So Cindy and Mary are 2 benchmark workouts. We have a lot of data on how these workouts should be performed. You're moving for 20 minutes. We want to keep up a quality of movement. I would say to scale in order to allow yourself 12 plus rounds. So if you're getting 12 plus rounds here, I think that you're scaling it appropriately. If you're getting less than 12 rounds, we want to modify the difficulty of each movement or maybe even the reps per round. People who are very apt at body weight movements can push Cindy close to 25 or 30 rounds, and they just did Mary at the games, and I want to say that Noah Olson got 27 rounds of Mary.
The pull-up bar, 2 seconds. Better late than never for Noah Olson, first of that win, and he will be your overall leader.
So definitely let us know, post in the comments, take videos, and communicate to us how these 2 benchmarks or one of these two benchmarks went for you on Monday, and we can't wait to see and hear from all you guys. Thanks.